Hello and welcome to part number 8. We're going to start it today. This time we're using the KODAK Zi8 set on macro right now. I'm in the process of disconnecting this wire right here. It's rubber coated, and then we've got a resistor running off of here. So I'm measuring 1.6 thousand ohms on that, and it can't be. So I want to check. This is supposed to be a 500,000 ohm pot, half meg ohm. That's what it says in the schematic. Somebody had pointed that out, and I do see it on the schematic, on the better quality one. So I'm going to unsolder this. I shouldn't have a problem. This wire here goes down inside of an IF can. As far as I can tell, it goes inside there. So if I mess it up, it'll probably be messed up in this area, and I can put some spaghetti over it. I'm going to try to desolder it off of here. Once I get this off, the only thing that's on the slider is this cap, so you're not going to influence the ohm meter with that. And then, of course, the common negative, which is the other leg. If I have to change this, it's going to be kind of a job for me, but I think I can do it. So this is part 8, and also what I had done, and I'll show you. I'll turn the chassis over before we start working on this. I tightened the pins up as best I could. It's very difficult without squeezing them too tight and ruining it. I've done that years ago. And this is a 12 SA7, and I have a new old stock. I don't have very many, but I did find a new old stock metal 12 SA7. Pin 1 is not used in this radio, so we don't have a problem. And because after I pinch the sockets, it's still cut out on me, as you heard in the part 7 you saw in the part 7 video. This don't. It works better, and it's a little more sensitive. Okay. I also found out having the radio tipped up like this, it put pressure on the 35Z5, and the radio wouldn't come on. It was dislocated out of the socket just a tiny bit. But then I noticed that the pilot light went out when I moved this. So I tightened these pins up, and it seems to be okay. So that is okay. The 12SQ7, I had a new old stock metal 12SQ7. I put it back in the damn box when I sorted tubes. So I'm not going to tear all that, go through that again. I wanted to sub this out because of the weakness of the reception and also the volume. But however, if I find out this volume control is only a 1,000 ohm, well, I never heard of a volume control that low, but it reads 1.6 thousand ohms. And I know with this camera, and I'm on macro, you're not going to get too close with this. But I did check the resistors around there, and the resistance values that could influence the volume control on the high end, not on the common negative side, which is on the right, but as you're looking at the volume control on the left, it says half meg, and you got a resistor there. I can't read it to you now. That could influence it, and you got a one coming up into the can. But I think if I disconnect that entire side of the volume control, which will be right here, I should be okay. I will do that, and we'll have an ohm meter on it. And the only successful way I can do ohm readings on any components is with clip leads. No matter how tight you hold them on, the meter is jumping all over the place. So you have to use clip leads when you're checking resistances, or shorts for that matter, because just holding the leads on, for me, never works 99 out of 100 times because you can never hold them on tight enough. Clip leads, they bite right in. So I'm going to disconnect this and I'll be right back. Of course they don't cooperate. I have to cut it off. I did get the resistor off. Not to put the light down so I can show you. The resistor's off. That just was tacked on. That's why I love tack soldering. You just touch it and you can get it off. It's so much easier. All right, I gotta cut this off because I'm gonna try pulling it out a little bit more if I can. So far I didn't damage the rubber here, but like I say, if I do, I can put a sleeve over it. And it looks to me like the camera's in focus. If I went like this, it would be out of focus. So I think right about in here is good. It isn't as good as the JVC, but the file sizes are taking me, they're like 4 gigs for half an hour. It's totally ridiculous. And it takes me 2.5 hours to render on my desktop because I can't use the shuttle because Sony Movie Studio 13 stopped working in the shuttle. So I'm back to using my desktop again. So, but Windows Movie Maker does good. But I figured I'll just use this. So I'm going to try to get that out again. I'll be right back. All right. Let me check the. Got to put a magnifying glass on the viewfinder here to make sure we're in. Got a clip lead on the lug that I unsoldered the resistor and the wire, and I've got my little hook clip down on the cold side of the volume control, which is common negative, and I've got it connected here, and this is what I'm getting. It's 1,000 ohms. It's on the 1.643. I never heard of a volume control that low. That would explain why I'm getting a louder hum here than on here, because all the audio is being soaked up with the wrong value volume control. I've never heard of a volume control 1.643 ohms. And I am on ohms. Right here. When I was measuring voltage on the other video there, I was here instead of here. I was trying to measure B plus here. I'll tell you, I'm surprised I didn't ruin the meter. I think it's because I did not have the lead into here. If I had it into here, this meter wouldn't exist anymore. All right, so I think what we're going to do, we're going to strip this wire here. We're going to tack. I got to put a light on here so you can see it. Here's the resistor right here that I disconnected. I got to put the light down. I can't do. Here's the resistor I disconnected right there. Can you see it right there? All right, I'm going to do this off camera. I want to get a clip lead on that resistor and on this lead here that goes inside the IF can. And I want to strip it first. And these two, the resistor and the wire went to this terminal right here, which I'm taking my lead off right now. And I'm going to put a 0.5 megohm resistor across it. Okay? And then I'm going to take another clip lead and go over from here to here on the resistor. In other words, instead of trying to dig out a 500,000 ohm pot, which I probably don't have any other than those wire wounds I showed in that video, I don't have any potentiometers. I might have 1 or 2. So, again, I don't have that stuff. I used to have a whole box of them, you know. A 1 foot square box and 1 foot deep loaded with potentiometers. But those are all gone years ago. So that could be it. So let me come back on this video. Alright, if you can visualize what I'm doing, the green clip is on the common negative, which is the low side of the volume control, clipped to a rubber-coated wire which has been falling apart in the back there. It goes here to a 470,000 ohm resistor, in other words, a half meg. The other end, I just wrapped it around here. It's not shorted out. Going to the IF can, which would normally be the high side of the volume control. So picture it as the low side of the volume control here, the high side here, and yes, you're wondering about the slider. All we're going to do is we're not going to bother with this cap. We're going to take a 0.01 from this point and bring it up here. We're going to have them all in place. Yes, there'll be some leads and interference and stuff. We want to see if we get more volume, and I think we may get more volume that way because something's not right with this. And if I can get another pot, I won't need to have this oddball extension on here. But anyways, what we got to do before we do that is this resistor here, as you can see it hanging there just below the green clip. That is also going to have a clip lead going out to here because that is also the high point, and those are the two components. The component and this wire here are connected to that point. If you don't understand the method to my madness, you will see when I get done. I got some more clip leads. I got to get an 01 for that. 01's going to go from here, not the volume control slider. That capacitor is still connected. We're connecting it right here to the tube grid of the 12SQ7. So we're going to go from this point here with another 0.01 over to here. Be right back. A lot of my work is Rube Goldberg and wires all over the place. That's always the way I've done things, with clip leads all over the place. And most of the time I didn't short things out. Okay, as you can see, I've got a clip lead. Unfortunately, my leads are quite long, but not as long as some of them. But I'm not worried about hum and stuff. I'm worried about gain. So we got a 0.01 right here. We're using the same small 100 volt yellow 0.01. Got to get in camera here. Over here, we're connected to the high side of the 470,000 ohm resistor. Also, we got the resistor here that was on there is connected with the black clip and the blue lead coming down, also to the high point of the 470,000 ohm resistor. And then we got the negative, the low side of the volume control, which will be the low side. So this would be in effect a potentiometer with the gain turned all the way up because we're connected to the high side. Normally this capacitor would be on the slider and it would be adjustable. I checked the ohms on this. This goes down to 1 ohm and nice and smooth, but it only goes up to 1.6 thousand ohms. That's not normal. Okay, are you ready? Let's turn it on. Okay, the radio's on. 114 volts. It's louder. So that's, now you saw the resistance reading, so it's 1.6 and some change on the 1,000 volt scale, 1,000 ohm scale. Now, antenna, needless to say, the coil's not on, but that's the situation here. Okay, I think we got more gain. You remember how weak it was at the high side of the volume control when it went through the capacitor, because it was being loaded down with a very low resistance here. And so that's the story there. Now it's not going to affect the reception of the radio, but what we can get through there should be better. Okay, Also, I checked some resistors. What's been very misleading on this schematic, and I remember people saying this, I can't get you close here on this camera. I can get you close, but not that close. Like R9, I believe it is. 41 meg. To me, that's meg M, but I understood from years ago that M, when they label things, M meant thousands. That doesn't make sense, but so usually what I do on a schematic is also change it to a K. Okay, so there are other resistors up in the front end there that are marked like that too. Okay, so now we're not loaded down whatsoever. If you can call this capacitor here loading it down, I don't think it is. So we're going to have to hunt down a volume control. That's all for now. Stay tuned. We got more to come on part 8 here. Don't go away. Alright, here's the next night. Since I picked up this camera and was working on part 8, this is still part 8. We're going to end part 8. We're up against the brick wall now because we need a volume control. Now, if you've been following the video, it's about 1.6 thousand ohms. I never heard of a volume control so low. Or this could have been a tone control, but even that, I never heard of one that's that low. That's what it reads on the outside terminals. 1.6 and some change thousand ohms. 1,600 something. I have a 3 meg here. That's all I got. I have old switches. And this is the only on and off volume control that I have in my... Isn't that something? I had at least 100 of these things since 1959, collected from junked TVs and radios throughout the years. And all I can get nowadays, right now, is all I have in the shop is a 3 meg control. I don't know if the switch is good, but I can test that. But it calls for half meg, 500,000 ohms. It might work. It's got the tap on it over here. See the tap right there? It's not used in this radio. But going from it's supposed to be a 500,000 or a half meg in here, and you see the jury rig I made up here when I showed you that. So the volume is up, but I guess I could put this in, but I'm not going to do that. I'd have to saw the shaft down, and there's no set screws on the knobs, so I would have to saw the shaft down and put this gizmo back on again, which is not what I really want to do. So, turn that off. That's where I am at right now. So, might as well end the video because I'm going to have to hunt on eBay and see if I can find a 500,000 ohm pot with a switch on it, volume control. You know, it's tough when you got rid of all your stuff of electronics years ago, and you know, I had no idea of getting back into it again. Sometimes I wonder, with the frustration in my eyes, whether I ever should have gotten back into it, but regardless, this is a 3 meg. It might work, but there's a resistor here. 2 reds and a green. Is that 22 meg? or 2.2 meg. Well, I don't know where my roll chart is. There it is. I gotta use this for resistors. These go back to the 60s. But anyways, that resistor goes to this coil here. And there's two coils in this radio. There's one here and there's one here. So I don't know which is the oscillator. I could trace it out, of course, on the schematic. But this resistor comes off of this coil here and goes to the high side of what's supposed to be a 0.5 meg ohm volume control. Now, most volume controls are 1 meg ohm. Most of them, the ones I've run into. The question is, if I put a 3 meg in here, in a sense, there's a load here of 3 megs versus a 0.5 meg. Is that going to upset this circuit? That I don't know. Whether it's a bias or what. I really don't know. I'm not an engineer. I wouldn't know that. Okay. So I can't see taking this out, cutting the shaft down and putting this extension on, which I don't want to do, but actually, yeah, these knobs here, this is the Zenith knobs, these knobs here are splined. They're not half moon, quarter half round shaft. So this is the type of end you're supposed to have, and the only way I'm going to get that is to hack the shaft down and put this damn thing back on. Or, well, I can't do it. I don't have welding equipment or brazing. I don't know how to do it anyways. If I was to use this, and I'm not going to, I'd cut the shaft down, save this piece here, hack it off here, and bring this piece down to here so it'll be the same length as this shaft over here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm at a roadblock here. I can't find my new old stock 12SQ7. I want to substitute that also. Stupid me, I must have put it back in the box of tubes, and I'm not going through all them tubes again. So, two things I got to do. I got to order a 12SQ7 because the one that's in here is a little weak. That could be part of the problem. And I got to get a 0.5 meg ohm volume control. So I'm going to have to search eBay, but I can't do it this week. So maybe next week I can do that. So I'll this is going to end part 8. I was not going to end it this soon, but I just got to get a 0.5 meg volume control. So some of you have suggested there could be the wrong volume control, and I suspected the control was changed because of this anyways, but I didn't think somebody would be so stupid to put a 1.6 thousand ohm volume pot in place of a 0.5 meg ohm. I mean, that's asinine. So I might see putting a 1 meg ohm control, and I would do that myself, in place of a 0.5 meg, because I don't think it'll hurt the radio. As a matter of fact, it might not put as much load on it. You might get a little more volume. I don't know. But I don't have any more. This is all I've got in the shop. I have that big bag of potentiometers, but they're all wire wound, and they're potentiometers. They're not switches, and they are low resistance. So, this is going to end part number 8. Part number 8. Stay tuned for part number 9. But I don't know when. Thanks for watching, And I hope this video comes out. Remember, this is WVGA using the KODAK Zi8 camera on this entire video. Thanks for watching. I was hoping I'd be able to get more on this radio, but that's going to be it for now until I can get another potentiometer. If I can at least get the potentiometer, I'd like to order that 12SQ7 tube from findatube.com, Bob Dubush. And also look around for a potentiometer. And that's not going to be easy to find a vintage half meg ohm, good condition, volume control, and switch. That's going to be very difficult. You don't know what you're getting when you're buying something used like that. And I don't want to get one made in China. The damn thing will probably fall apart.